So, but we'll give you each little section and we'll practice and practice until we get it right. Okay, so the fluency part, you understand about this part now. If you don't have fluency, your comprehension goes down. So we got to get that, all right? So, in today's lesson, follow agreed upon rules for discussion. What happens if you don't follow agreed upon rules? Tell me what happens. Rihanna?
That you won't like get the questions right and stuff.
That's exactly right. Good job. Appreciate your support. What else happens? If you're not listening, what happens to your learning?
You don't learn that low.
It goes down. If you don't listen, it goes down. So we don't want that to happen. Okay. Include media components and visual displays. And so we did the Highwayman song, okay? And you got a feeling of how they took the old poem and then they did a new version, the Highwayman, all right? So we did that. Compare and contrast elements in multiple text. Did we have lots of poems from different sources today? Okay, you had poems over here from Shel Silverstein. We had 8th grade, we had 7th grade text, and we had 5th and 6th grade text. So it's multiple text in here trying to get these poems ready. Okay, Liliana. What does this say? Develop and interpretation
of a
selection
lesson and
support
through
sustained use of examples. Now what does that mean? That means by having lots of examples, you get the idea about poetry. Now, you can't write a poem because I say write a poem until I show you some examples of poems and we practice with them for a while. And then you can create your own. Now my goal is this, guys. We're going to take and we're going to write a poem and it's going to be a diamante. The noun will go here. Then you'll create 2 adjectives, describing words, 3 action words, verbs, 4 adjectives, 3 action words, 2 adjectives, last word, which will be opposite. So it's 7 lines, okay? 7 lines. So that's what we'll do tomorrow as we get, and it might start it today, but when you have a really finished product, not a rough draft, a finished product, we'll mount it on some, not contact paper, but the thick paper, all of a sudden I can't remember what it's called, but it's thick paper that kind of will be a good frame for your paper, okay? So, and we'll hang it from the strings and put it in the room, and everybody can see your poem, and you can draw a picture. But that may happen tomorrow. But let's see.
tomorrow.
I said, well, yes, fun day. Okay, let's talk about these other things. The students will create a diamante poem after choral readings. The students will improve fluency through choral readings. Now, the reason why I take those poems and have Miss Sugar run them off, there's a reason. I don't just do it to keep you busy, although that's good. You know, that's good. But I do it so you can hear another person say the word at the same time and you learn the words. So, what's my goal? My goal is to improve your fluency. If I improve your fluency, Jalen, if I improve your fluency, what happens to your comprehension?
It goes up.
It goes way up. But if you don't have fluency, if you don't know the words, then we're going to have a hard time understanding what's going on. That's why teachers want you to learn to read. If you don't know how to read the words, science, social studies, and other subjects are very hard. And so I stress English more than any other subject because it is very, very, very important that you learn to read so you can apply that skill to other subjects. All right, so I'm going to give you a piece of paper. And I want you to kind of play with, everybody should have a pencil. Okay, we're going to do the pencils like this. And I want you to come up with a topic. I tell you, just, Lariana, just listen for a minute, honey. Don't write about something you don't know. Miss Mcintyre, if I was going to write a book, I would not want to write about a state I've never been to. I would not want to write about a trip I've never taken. Why would I not want to write about those things? Because I don't know anything about them, except what I read out of a book. So, if you are going to write, I want you to write about something you know. Okay, you got a pet, you can write about a pet. If you have a favorite state that you lived in, what you did in that state. I have fond feelings about Charleston, South Carolina, because I lived there 26 and a half years. And I have fond feelings about Jacksonville, because I lived here about 22 and a half years. So, south, and that's it. Just leave it at that, south. I've moved around. I went to school in Georgia and Florida, and I went to school. And I lived in Tennessee for a while. Lived in Texas as a child.
Me too. Houston? No.
Pasadena. Yes, sir. I lived in Pasadena when I was a little girl. Okay. So, guys, come up with a title that you're interested in writing about. Okay? Here's your paper. Put down 10 things that you might be interested in writing your diamante about. 10 things, and then we can, you can weed and think about other things, okay? Whoops, there it goes. Okay, Corey, here you go. All right. I like the way, Lariana, you're doing what you're supposed to. Good job. Oh, you can have a pencil. Hang on a second. There you go. Nope, not that one. Which one? There you go. Anybody without a pencil? You need a pencil? Okay. All right, guys. Let's think about, if I was going to write a poem, and you certainly don't have to do what I do, but I'll show you something based on what I do, okay? If I was going to write about something, I know a lot about my daughter. So I could probably write a poem about my daughter. I could probably write a poem about my students. I think one time I told you about, remember when I told you about the story when I was in 4th grade? And I took ants to the horned toads. Do y'all remember that? What happened? What happened to the...
They died.
I killed the horned toads. And I thought I was going to be a hero. That is a big memory to this day. How I took ants thinking I was going to feed the horned toads and wound up killing them. Okay? So, I could probably write a poem about that. Okay? Yeah, I should have, shouldn't I? But
You
that
should have
wasn't
given
fourth grade. Okay? Cut me a break. I was in fourth grade.
You should have given him some sugar ants.
You're right. You are right. But I learned a lesson.
Sugar ants is
Okay. I learned a lesson just like y'all learn lessons every day. Okay? And sometimes, okay, Miss McIntyre's been guilty of hard lessons. How many of you have ever done something wrong and have to learn it the hard way?
At least you was trying to be helpful.
I was.
And you didn't know.
I was. So, when we mess up, what should we do next time? What should we do next time? Try to eliminate what we do wrong and do better the next time. Okay, so I probably could write about that experience. I probably could write about a dog that I had as a kid. I probably could write a poem about my car. So write down 10 things that you could write about.
Washington, D.C.
Okay, yeah. You've been to Washington. You could talk about the Jefferson Memorial. You could talk about the Lincoln Memorial. You could talk about the Smithsonian. Okay, so write down 10 things. Yes, write down 10 things, okay? Okay, and go ahead, write 10 things. Then I'll collect your papers. And then when I troubleshoot and figure out what I want to do for this weekend on this, I can give your papers back, or I can figure out 3 or 4 main topics that you're interested in, and then we'll work on Monday the rest of the Diamante, okay? And we'll keep this up so you'll know how to write the Diamante. And then when we finish and color it and have a good final copy, then we'll hang it around the room, okay? All right. So get your 10 things down, because I'm going to take it up before you leave for lunch. Okay, it's things you know about. Pasadena, Texas. I could write about Pasadena, Texas in 1960. Now, I wouldn't know about it now. Okay? You probably could write it more current. Oh, yeah, Pasadena was a cool place to live when I was a kid. Real cool place. I think it has a lot of smog now. Oh, I tell you, speaking of that, when I remember this. When I left Pasadena, Texas, my daddy got transferred to Jacksonville, Florida. He stopped by the Dino, D-I-N-O. It was like a big dinosaur service station. And he pumped gas, and for whatever reason, it stuck in my brain. He paid 29 cents a gallon at that time. 29 cents a gallon. You think I'm kidding? 29 cents was all it cost to buy gas.
I think you're kidding. I know.
But at any rate, that was, I have good memories of that place too. Okay, so everywhere you go, try to have good memories. Okay, yes. Okay. All right. Now, I need a little closure. Alariana, I'm going to trust you to help me tie it all together. I need your help. I got to have closure before I let y'all go wash your hands. So I want you to tell me, honey, 2 things you learned this morning.
More about that person. I need to study my homework.
You do need to study your homework, but that which is having to do with this lesson.
And,
Somebody want to help her out? Okay, good, Jaleesa.
We had read a poem,
What's the deal?
and then we had to write it and then we had to do our spelling words and our vocabulary.
Okay, tell me what Miss McIntyre's goal was for you reading the poems. What was my goal? Do you know?
You gotta know the words to know what the poem means.
Yes, you've got to have fluency. Say fluency.
Fluency.
Did you want to add something else?
I wanted us to know how to develop and interpret of a selection and support through
Sustain use of examples. Okay, so we had lots of examples of poetry, correct? Some were very short, choppy. Some were rhyming. Some were not rhyming. Some did not rhyme. Oh, who had the poem about Knoxville, Tennessee? That particular poem, that's in my head because the lady who wrote that poem was Nikki Giovanni. Now, when I was in college at Mercer, Nikki Giovanni came to school at Mercer, and I saw her as, she's probably 35 then, and I was 22. So, she later became a professor at Virginia Tech. Remember when they had that shooting at Virginia Tech? She was one of the ones that was supposed to have reported that person had issues and they needed to watch it. She was one of the ones. But she was a poet even when I would think. She was a poet, a younger woman, certainly, just like I was younger when I was in college. And she came and she read to us, and it was really neat to hear a poet, an actual poet, read to you. That was kind of fun. And I've never forgotten that. That was in Macon, Georgia. I have good memories about Macon, Georgia. So as you get older in your life experiences, guys, you will have more and more memories and more connections. And when I give you reading, I'm looking for connections. And when you chop me off too fast, I get frustrated because I want you to get to those connections. Do you understand? Okay, let me get your 10.
Make sure your name is on it.
Let me see what you have. Okay, give me the 3. Okay, so I'll know how to go from here. Miss McIntyre has the plan next.
M.
All right, so I know what you're interested in.